Hi guys, today we're going to make a baby sweater out of 3-ply yarn. This sweater, I believe, has a 20-inch chest, so let's measure it. I got a tape right here, and let's see, it came out maybe 18 to 20. I like it because I don't have to put buttons on it. Okay. And has a little sleeves, has a yoke, and of course you can do it all in one color. I show you how to put the tie on, the trim, and do the sleeves. Now this is for 3-ply yarn. If you want to make a baby sweater in 4-ply yarn, I'm going to link a YouTube video. I'm not sure the person's name, but I'll put by it 4-ply baby sweater. And that's where I got the idea for this pattern. I've made her 4-ply yarn baby sweater many times, and I've sold many, and I was lucky enough to have one of my sweaters in an off-Broadway play. They ordered it from my Etsy shop, and they used it as a prop in the play. So anyway, the following tutorial is going to be in 3-ply. I'm going to have a link to a lady's pattern and YouTube video in 4-ply. So let's get started on this tutorial. Thanks. Okay guys, let's get started on our baby sweater. 3-ply baby sweater. So the first thing we're going to do, and you don't need a long tail, just do your slip knot, and do any slip knot. It's not a big deal. Now we're going to chain. I have my H hook and I have 3-ply yarn. Now we're going to chain 46. So yarn over the hook, pull through, yarn over the hook, pull through, yarn over the hook, pull through. We're going to chain 46, so I'm going to meet you back after you have your chain of 46. Okay, I have my 46. And what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. But we're going to do it maybe a little different than you're used to. Now, see, you can see you have the little chains, and normally you would probably go into this loop right here. But what we're going to do is we're going to flip our work over and go into this little loop that's on the back. And the reason that we're doing that is because sometimes, and I'm going to pull this up, sometimes that loop gets stretched, okay? And it doesn't look consistent with the rest of your work. So what I'm going to do is teach you how to crochet in that little back loop or bar, okay, on the back. So here we go. This is 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work and we're going to double crochet in this bar. Okay, so I'll show you again. See, this first chain got a little tight. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and turn it over, and this little bar is where we're going into. So we're going to yarn over and go in that bar. And see, there it is. And so you have the 2 underneath and the bar is on the top. And then finish your double crochet. Okay. We're going to do 6 double crochets here. So the first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. So now we have 2. And we're going to have our chain turned over. So instead of holding it like this, like you normally would, we're turning it over. And we're going to go into this loop, or under that loop, under that bar. They call it the back bar. So now we have 4. Yarn over, and see there's the little bar from the next one. And we're going to do a total of 6 here, so we got to keep count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and turn our chain, go under that back bar, and complete your double crochet. And see how it's kind of, it's not stretched out. It's staying close to that work. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under the next bar, and that's 6. Chain 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Sorry about moving the camera. Now, in the next chain, we're going to do 3 double crochets under that bar. So yarn over under the bar. We're going to go 1, 2, let's get number 2 going here. 2, and then 3. Now, when you do this row under the bar, it tends to take me longer to double crochet or to stitch this first row. Okay, so we did the 3 double crochets in that one stitch, and now we're going, so you have to look real close to find that next little bar back there. And now we're going to do 6 double crochets in these next 6 stitches. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 3, and then there's 4, and like I said, it takes a little bit longer to do this first row because you got to get under that bar, but in the long run you'll see that it doesn't stretch as much. Okay, so there's our 3. 1, 2, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here's the 6th one. And if you can hear that crunching, that's my husband having some chips. Okay, now in the next bar or stitch, we're going to do 3 double crochets. There's this bag. 2, and as you can see, my yarn's doing a yarn barf, so I just got to pull it as I go here. Get myself some here. Okay, so we have 2 in that one, and now I got to do a 3rd one. Pull it out. and do that third one. Okay, now in the next stitches we have to do 16 double crochets. So we're going to go right across here and do the next 16, which that looks kind of short, but maybe we'll make it. If not, we'll redo the video. So I'll meet you back after you do these 16. Okay, so I finished my 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And in the next stitch, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. So you go right in that bar, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. And what we're doing here is we're starting with the neck edge. So this is the neck edge. And then please don't do that. And then we're doing where we're going to put the sleeves. So we've got 3 in there, and then we're going to do 6. We're going to double crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to be about the only row that you have to count. Okay, so now we need to do 6 double crochets. Okay, so I have my 3 double crochets in here, and now we have to do 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in this next stitch, you're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so you did those 6 crochets. So in the next stitch, we're going to do 3 double crochets. One, whoop, 2, and 3. And then when you get to the end of the row, you should have 6 stitches left. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do. So go ahead and do 6 double crochets. Now this one might be a little tight, so you might have to pull the stitch up, but we don't want to miss it. So we're going to go under there and do 1, and we're going to do the last 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that is the neck edge of our baby sweater. Okay, see, that's the collar, and see how it's coming in, and that's the neck edge. There it is. Now, that was really the only row that you have to count on, because in the next row we're going to be doing stitches in the center of the 3 double crochets, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, we're ready for the second row of our sweater. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to double crochet now. The chain 3 counts as your first stitch. So we're going to go in the next stitch, and we're going to double crochet all the way over to this center chain of the chain 3. So if you need to put a stitch marker, you can, but we're going to just double crochet over till we get to that center double crochet. Okay, so there's the 3. So that means we're going to double crochet in this one, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets in this center one. And that's increasing, okay, our sweater, because we started at the next edge. So we're doing 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to double crochet all the way until we get to this next group of 3, and then we're going to do 3 in the center one. Okay, so I'm over here to my next group of 3. So there would be the third one. So I'm going to do 2 more double crochets, and then I'm going to do 3 in the center stitch of the 3. Okay, so I have 3 double crochets in that third stitch or center stitch, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double crochet all the way over to the next group of 3, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochets in that center stitch. So I'll meet you back. Okay, so I put 3 double crochets in that center stitch, and I'm going to double crochet all the way over till I get to the center stitch of the 3, and then I'm going to put 3 in there. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I put 3 stitches, 3 double crochets in that center stitch, and now I'm going to double crochet out, and don't forget to do a stitch in your chain 3 over here. So go all the way out, and then we're going to chain 3 and turn. Okay, now how you know that you've got enough stitches here on this to the end is if you do count on the other side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought I counted them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so if you count on this side to make sure that you got all the way to the end, so you can see I went all the way to the end, but I have 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. And so if these two ends match, then you know you caught your last stitch. So now we're going to double crochet, we're going to do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. And then we're going to double crochet. We're not going to go in this one, that counts as your first. We're going over here. And you're going to do 3 double crochets in this center stitch. And you're going to end up with a total of 6 rows. 1, 2, and then 4 more rows. Or if you measure from this top edge, you should have 3 inches. So 6 rows or 3 inches. Because again, it depends on your type of yarn. And if you were using a smaller hook, the goal of this is to have 3 inches. Okay, I'll meet you back, and that's what you're going to keep continuing doing. You're going to crochet all the stitches till you get to the center, do 3 in the center. Crochet to the third one, do 3 in the center, crochet all across the back, and do 3 in the center, and 3 in the center, and do 6 rows or 3 inches, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so here we have our 6 rows, and I'm going to measure it. So we have a little over 3 inches, but 6 rows is what we want, or 3 inches, so that's good. So what we did is we created the yoke, but we also created the top of the sleeves. Okay, so what's going to happen is if you fold it so that you have your neck edge and you meet the 2 front pieces, you will see how it turns out here. And that's where we're going to start creating the sleeve. That from here to here would be the sleeve. These 2 right here. And so we're going to start that next row. Okay. So we finished our 6 rows here. And I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn our work, and then what we're going to do is we're going to crochet from here to the center of the 3. So let's go ahead and do that. And when we get to that center one, we're going to do a double crochet and chain 5. And I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So we're going to keep going. Okay, so as you can see, I'm at my place where there's 3 double crochets. So in the center double crochet, we're going to go ahead and double crochet. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to come all the way over here and find our 3 together. And what we're going to do is we're going to skip all these stitches, and we're just going to come right over here and double crochet in that 3rd or the center stitch. So you've got your chain, you're going to yarn over and come right over here and double crochet into that 3rd, I don't know why I keep saying 3rd, in that center stitch of the 3. And see what we created? I'll see if I can turn it for you. There you have. There's the front. This is the hole for the sleeve. This is the bottom of the sleeve. And then this is starting the back. We're going to double crochet all the way over here to the center stitch. We're going to chain 5 and then come over to this edge. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to double crochet all of these all the way across to the center stitch, and then I'm going to meet you back and we're going to create the second sleeve hole. See what you have? Okay. Okay. I did all the double crochets all across, which will be our back. And I'm over here in our 3 double crochets. And I double crocheted in the center double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't want that top chain to get too tight. See, it's up there on my hook. And then I'm moving my work over and I'm looking for the 3 double crochets in the same stitch. And the center one is right there. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to do a double crochet in that center double crochet, and I'll show you. That made our next little sleeve. And so you can see there 1, 2, 3, and I did it in the center. And now I'm going to double crochet out to the end here, and that's going to make the end of the yoke, the beginning of the sleeve, and then we're going to be doing the body of the sweater. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to double crochet all the way to the end. I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to double crochet up to this point here on the next row. So go ahead and pause the video, finish double crocheting this row, chain 3, and then double crochet up to this chain, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so what we did was we finished that row, and then I chained 3 and I double crocheted all the way over here. Now we know that there's 5 stitches we have to create on this chain. Okay, so I'm right here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double crochet in this last double crochet. And so we're looking at our chain. Now, we need to make 5. So if we think about it, before we get over here, let me push this down so you can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And see, that one's kind of small. So you might have to kind of fight with it. But we're going to yarn over and we're going to go in. And I like to have 2 loops on the top of my hook. Yarn over, pull through, and complete your double crochet. So that's number 1. And you can keep doing what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can kind of figure this out because we have 1 and 2. So now I got to try to make 3 more in this stuff. So you just kind of roll it and you put, so you have 2 stitches on the top of your hook, or 2 loops. So that's 3. So I'm going to go right inside this little tiny hole right here. So that's number 4. And let's try to make number 5. So I want 2 loops on my hook, so I don't want to go in there. I want to kind of go under. So I have 2 loops on my hook. And now I have gained back those 5 double crochets. And now I'm going to go into over here. And I'm going to double crochet across the back of the sweater, all the way across to this chain. And I'm going to make 5 stitches in these chains. Okay, so now I'll push this out so you can see what we have. And now we're continuing on to the back. So I'll catch you up on at the other armhole. Okay, I made it over to the next sleeve hole. And as you can see, I have 1 more stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and double crochet. And then in this chain 5, I have to find 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, that first hole is a little small. So I'm going to yarn over and poke it through so that I get 2 loops on the top of my hook. See? Pull through and then pull through 2, pull through 2. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go right in here. 2 loops on the top of my hook. Got 3 more to make. So 1, 2, and under there. See, I'm going to go right inside there. Make sure I have 2 loops on the top of my hook. And the next one, 2 loops on the top of my hook. And 1 more. And so, if I can hold it so you can see it, I'm going to go right under there. Okay, so I got those 5. And so now I'm going to go ahead and go into this next double crochet. And I'm going to double crochet all the way and finish the row. Okay? And then I'll meet you back. Okay, so this is what you have so far. Now I'm going to turn it around. Up here is the neck of our sweater. We have the armholes. And this part is starting the body. of the sweater. Okay, take it out a little bit. So there, this is the first row of the body of the sweater. We're going to be putting the sleeves in here, but we're going to be doing that part later. So now what you need to do is you need to just continue all the way around, chain 3, turn your work, finish it all the way around, and you're going to do it till it is 5 to 6 inches. So that means starting from the armhole. So there's the armhole right there. See, there's the armhole. You would measure 5 to 6 inches, depending on how long you want to make your sweater. 5 to 6 inches. And then after you get done with that, then I'm going to meet you back, and then we're going to do the border and the ties of the sweater. And so basically what I do is we finish this 5 to 6 inches, and then we finish the sweater with the ties, the collar's done, and the bottom of the sweater will have its edging. The only thing that would be left to do would be the sleeves. So what you're going to do now is you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and double crochet, chain 3, turn your work, double crochet until you have 5 to 6 inches of the body. 5 to 6 inches, and then we'll pick it back up after that. Talk to you later. Okay guys, I finished my rows here to make our sweater, and so now I'm ready. I think I have like 5.5 inches from here to the bottom of the sweater, and so we're going to do the border around the neck and the bottom, the edging up the front on both sides, and the ties. I don't put buttons on my sweater, I put ties on my sweater, and that way the baby can wear it longer and the mom doesn't have to fiddle with trying to button it. Now, in my case, I was trying to use up some yarn. This yarn, I forgot to tell you what it's called. It's Bernat Baby Sport, and it was in the color denim, and I only had a little bit left. So I'm kind of out of my yarn, so I don't have enough for the sleeves or the border. But I'm going to use some white, and I think that'll be pretty. It's the same type of yarn, it's just in white. So what we're going to do is, if you were continuing with the same yarn, which would be right here, okay, what you can do is chain 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join my new yarn right here and go right along with you. So how I join my yarn is when I go to finish the very last stitch, which I guess I got to do it over again. So there's my I'm going to do my last double crochet, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and before I pull through that last 2, I get my new yarn and I kind of lay a strand on the back. See, that's on the, I laid it on the back, and I hold it, and that becomes my new working yarn. And I've got this finger holding the tail at the bottom. So I finished my last double crochet, and you can cinch it up if you want, and with the new working yarn. So now for this project, I'm going to chain 1 because we're going to be doing single crochets. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to be going up this side. and we are going to measure our sweater. So hold on one sec. So I have 2 stitch markers, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our sweater, the neck of the sweater and the bottom of the sweater, and we're going to fold them so that the bottom meets the top. So this is the neck edge, and then I have the bottom edge together. Then I'm gonna, so it's folded. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a stitch marker right here in the center where the fold was. And that lets me know where I'm gonna put the tie for this side. And we're gonna chain 36 for our tie. So then I'm gonna take the other side, so there's the other neck edge and the bottom, and I'm gonna fold it together. So there's the 2 edges together. There's the fold. And I'm going to take my stitch marker and put it right where that loop is, where they folded together. And that's where I'm going to put my other chain for the tie. Okay, so here we are back to our working yarn. And we're going to go up the front of our sweater. Now, the stitches are not that defined, and we want to make sure that we don't pucker it. So I'm going to start out by putting a stitch in the side of this double crochet, and I want to have 2 loops on my hook. So it is a little tricky, but it'll get easier. And then I do pull up a loop and pull through 2, and that's a single crochet. And if you look, see there's a hole right there. So I'm going to be using that hole quite a bit as we go up. Okay, so I got that one. And then I need to have 1 in this area. The next one after this one will be in this hole, but we have to do 1 in this area. So you can see how it is. You can maneuver it any way that you like, but we want to have 2 loops on our hook. Pull through, and there's our little hole that we're going to be using. So pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then here we are again. And we want to make sure that we pull up 2 loops and do a single crochet, and see, make sure that it's not puckering. See how that is? And you also, if you wanted to, you could put a stitch marker here in your first single crochet, because when we come back, we're going to put 3 single crochets in this corner and join it to the first single crochet. So I'll do a couple more here, and then I'm going to pause the video, and then when I come back, I'll show you how to make the tie. Okay, so I'm going to go in this hole here, do a single. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in this area, but I need to make sure I get 2 loops on my hook. And see, that is a mistake right there, because you don't want it to pull up, so you have to pull it out and find just 2 loops, because when you find 2 loops, you have a loop underneath, and it doesn't pull away as much. It will to a degree, but and so in this one, we're going to go up here and get 2. And then in our little hole. And so you got the idea. So meet me back up where you placed your stitch marker, and we're going to make the tie. Okay, I'm up to where the stitch marker is, and I already took the stitch marker out. And then what I'm going to do is chain 36. Okay, I have my chain of 36. And everything's wrapped around. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the second chain from the hook, we're going to single crochet in this bar in the back. Remember how we did it at the beginning? Because we don't want to pull this up and have a great big opening. So we have 36, so we're going to skip this one, and then we're going to turn our work and go right into that bar behind that stitch, pull through a loop, and single crochet. And see, you can hold your chain. There's the next bar. I only want one. And then single crochet, and the next one. See, there's the little bar right there. So I'm going to go right inside there, and we're single crocheting. And see what our tie looks like so far? That's what our tie is going to look like on our sweater. So I'll meet you back when I finish all the way back to here. Okay, so I came back and I did single crochets all the way down. There's our first tie. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet or slip stitch into that first hole. So we'll just do a single crochet, and that anchors our tie. Then in our next location in here, we're going to try to grab 2 loops, and we just take our time, and then we're going to do a single crochet and then a single crochet in this hole, and then a single crochet in here, just getting 2 loops. Just, you can roll it around until you just get 2 loops on the top of your hook. And in the next little hole. Okay, so we're going to make our way, so you can see what we have so far. We're going to make our way up to the top of the neck, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in this top stitch, and that will help us to turn the corner. So I'm going to meet you up there. Okay, I made it all the way up here, and I'm in that very first stitch, and I already did 1 single crochet, so I'm going to do 2 more single crochets in that same little spot. So that's number 2 and number 3. Okay, and now we're going to go along the neck edge. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to go in 2 stitches on the top of this. And see, there are 2 little loops. So we want to try to get those, because if we just got 1, it would pull up and stretch that loop out of shape. So do a single crochet on top of each one of these, and like right there, do one, and you're going to just go all the way across the neck edge, and then when you get over here in this little hole, you can see it right there, you're going to do 3 in that one, and then we're going to be going down this front edge, and then where the marker is where we're going to do a stitch and then chain our 36 for our second tie. So I'm going to go ahead and single crochet across the back, the neck, and 3 in here, and then I'll meet you back over here by the other tie. Okay, I made it around the neck edge. See, here's my sleeve, and right in this corner I already have 1 single crochet, so I need to put 2 more single crochets in. 1 and 2, so that gave me 3 in that little loop. And then as I go down the side here, I'm gonna crochet in this tail, and we're going to do it just like we did the other edge. We're going to put a single in here, a single in this hole, 1 single in here, and we're going to do that all the way down to our stitch marker, and then we're going to chain 36 and then single crochet back to our sweater. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just like the other, and if you need to, you can rewind the video to when we were doing the other side. Okay, I made it down to my stitch marker, and you can see there's the front of the sweater. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 36, and then in the second chain we're going to single crochet in the back bar just like we did over here to make our other tie. So I'll meet you back. Okay, so I single crocheted in the back bar of my chain, and I'm just going to give it a little stretch to make it kind of uncurl, and it's fine if it curls. And then what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in this next stitch, and that on the body of the sweater, and that will anchor our tie. Okay, so what we're going to do is continue going down the front, and we'll end up down here on the bottom hem, or the bottom of the sweater, and we're going to do 3 in here, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in each one of these stitches, which is so much easier than what we've been doing. And then once we go all the way along the bottom, we're going to do 2 single crochets in this beginning, or 3, yeah, 3 in there, and then join to the front, because we only did 1 on the front side, so we had to do 3 in here. Okay, so finish down here with your single crochets, 3 in this end, and do your bottom. Okay, so what I did was after I finished the tie, I went up the rest of the front edge. When I came to the corner, I did 3 double crochets in my corner. Then I double crocheted all along the bottom, double crocheted, single crocheted, 3 single crochets in the corner, single crochet all across the bottom. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm on the other corner on the bottom of the sweater. And what we're going to do is, you can see I have a couple more here, so I'm going to go single crochet and single crochet, and I'm going to go right here and I'm going to do 2 more single crochets, 1, so now I have 3, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to join it right up here. Sorry if that was out of the camera. I got my 3 single crochets, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch onto the first single crochet on the front. So there it is. I don't have my scissors, so I would be cutting it. Sorry if you can hear that crazy bird. I would be cutting it, and then I would just pull it on up, and then I would be weaving my 2 ends. So actually, remember, I had to add yarn here, so that's why I have 3 tails. You should just have 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the scissors. I'll be right back. Okay, boy, he's really chirping now. Okay, I told him to go away and he didn't like it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this up, and then we're going to pull it through the other side and sew these ends in. But what I wanted to show you at this point was I'm going to fiddle with the sweater, and I'm going to bring the ties together in the front of the sweater and give them a tie. And there you have your sweaters all done. As far as the border and the closure and the neck edge. So the next part is going to be the sleeves, and I'll be showing you, of course, how to do the sleeves. And we're going to be joining some yarn here, and we're going to be going around the sleeves. And normally I do, I didn't write how many inches I do, but normally I do the length of the sweater, and then I roll it up. So sometimes that would be 10 rows. In this, on our sweater, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it'll be like 10 or 11 rows. And so hopefully at this point you can see that you have your sweater. Now, if you wanted a baby kimono, you could, or like a vest without sleeves, that's what you have here. Next, we're going to be doing sleeves. There's the bottom of it, and of course that string's going to get tied in, sewn in, but there is your sweater so far. So I'm going to join you back and we'll do sleeves. Okay, we're ready to do sleeves. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slip knot, and you don't have to have the tail so long. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to join right here. So you can kind of just eyeball it or put a stitch marker or whatever you need to do right there. And we're going to take and go in that loop. And this time, if we want to have 2 loops, but we might have to just do 1. And then you join your yarn. The tail's going to go down in the sleeve hole. And we're going to start out by doing, you can see it's a little fiddly, so I can bring in my slip knot a little. We're going to pull your yarn through here, okay, and we're going to chain 3, so that we're going to count this one as our first one. So we're going to do 2, more chains. And this first row is kind of, these are going to be easy to go into, but these couple, we're going to have to find our stitches as we go. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into this next loop. And I don't really count the number of stitches around my sleeves. Okay, and then we want to go in here. Whoop, I need to yarn over. I didn't yarn over. Okay. And then I'm going to split this. And I want to end up with 2 loops on my hook. So it's kind of like what we did on the front of the sweater. So fish it around. See, I ended up with 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through. There we go. There's our double. Now here, that's kind of obvious. We're going to go right in there. I forgot to yarn over. Okay. And now this is easy. We're going to go in the loops and do double crochets. So this part, whoop, sorry, it's out of the camera. So you can see where I'm going. Whoops, see, I forgot to yarn over. Okay, yarn over. Okay, so as you can see, I got to go all the way around, and I'll meet you back over here. Okay, so I finished going all the way around my sleeve, and these last stitches, we know we just have to kind of put them in like we did on the front of the sweater. Now, here's our chain 3. Now, there's the first double crochet, so we need to put our hook inside of the top of the chain. So that would be in the chain 3, and you would do a slip stitch to join. Now we're going to be working in the round, and we're going to be turning after every row so that we have the same effect with our sleeve as we do for our sweater. Now if you forget to turn, it's not going to be the end of the world, but that's how it's supposed to work. Okay, so we joined. Here's our sleeve. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to turn my sweater. And now I'm working in the inside of the sleeve. And there's our first stitch. So where we go is into this one. And then this one, and we double crochet all the way around, and then when we get back, we're not going to join in the first, we're going to join in this chain. Then you're going to chain 3 and flip your sweater and turn it and go back around. Okay, so that's what we look like. All right, so you would, if you need to put a stitch marker in, it would go right in the top of the chain 3, because this loop is for your first double crochet. Now, I'm trying to make the video not so long, so I'm going to meet you back after we have 10 rows. Now, in my case, it's white, so I'm going to obviously be able to tell. But in your case, you would, if you're using the same color yarn, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of the shoulder. So you would end up with 16 rows. Okay? So just keep that in mind, and I'll meet you back. Okay, guys, I finished the sweater. And what I did was I did 11 rows, and then I wove in my ends, and I checked underneath the armhole to make sure that I wove in the string for the, where I joined for the sleeve, and then I like to roll it up. So I did 11 rows on the body of the sweater. So I did 11 rows on the sleeves. So I did the second one. I wove in my ends, and I wove in my ends down here on the bottom. And so this is my baby sweater. So hopefully you guys learned some stuff. And this is a cute little sweater. We use 3-ply yarn. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you have friends, have them subscribe. And thanks again. Please remember, give me some tips for tutorials. Bye, guys.